Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Let's give it a couple seconds for people to show up and join. Currently, it's about 4:40 on a Monday. This is Las Vegas time, so I just got back from a weekend trip. I visited my sister in Chicago, so I thought I couldn't make a video this morning. It was it was difficult getting in last night. All right, we got 7 people here and 1 thumbs up. Please say hello so I know you're here. Hey JC, good to see you. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Shipping Studios, welcome to the live stream. Big Pap 90, what's up? Hey Scott, you've been to live streams before. Fred in 79, Delta Aviation, Azor, Spanky, how's it going, everyone? It don't matter. Jeff Johnson, John Golden. Whew, okay, this is going fast. Jose Garcia, hello. Danny Becker, Joseph, Wanderer. We got Jeremy Mills. It don't matter. Mex, Richard, C. Hanny, Davis S. Wow, we got a lot of people. Whoa, only 1 minute into the stream and we've already got 80 people. Welcome everybody. So let's do a Q&A today. I'll try and talk for maybe an hour and a half. And we got Trey White. Hey Jake, how's the call contracts going with a little push on Friday? They're not call contracts; they're put contracts. So I'm betting against the market right now. I don't like using the term bets. With options, they're leveraged contracts. So I'm predicting that we're currently at the top of the channel for the Nasdaq, the QQQ, and over the next 2 weeks, I think a bigger drop in the market is coming. There's a lot of things coming next month. There's going to be a Fed board meeting at the end of the month, CPI inflation numbers coming up. We're going to get GDP numbers for Q2. And if it's a contraction, then this is officially a recession. And then we got earnings from all the tech stocks. So July is going to be, I'm putting my money, on the line that I think July is going to be a little rough. Claudio, hello from Poland. Good to see you. Angelo, hello from Italy. We got, let's see here. Gabby, hello from Australia. Hello. Ron Price, hello from BOS. Does that stand for Boston? It don't matter. Have you gotten your new? Yes, I finally got my new MacBook Pro. It came about a week and a half ago, so took three months to deliver potentially. So, but they already announced the new M2 chip MacBook Pro, only the 13-inch. So I finally got my new MacBook Pro, and it's already basically outdated. But I got a 15-inch MacBook Pro. We got Don Shearer, hello. Tarok, hello. Big Pop, those interest rates are hurting, and they're only going to go higher until inflation is under control. We'll never know how long that'll take. Mike Paul, is it tough coming up with fresh content as much as you do? Honestly, I struggle to get rid of ideas for content. Like I'm constantly scribbling down on notes of paper things that I want to talk about, but realistically, I can only make about 4 or 5 videos a week. So I have video topic ideas that I just have to scrap and give up on because I'm never going to get around to them. But no, I don't ever struggle with coming up with content. It's easy for me just basically reacting to the stock market or reacting to current events. You can just talk about what's recently happened. So, but there are evergreen ideas, topics, related to other things related to finance that I'd love to talk about. It's just when am I going to get around to it? I don't know. Okay, we got Lance. Hello from San Diego. Farouk. Hello from Frankfurt, Germany. Wow. Fernando. Love from Kentucky. Thanks for the informative content. Ants from DC. I think that means Washington, DC. Corey. Hey, Jake, if you had to assume that cannabis would be federally legal, do you have an opinion about a good stock on that? I personally don't like the cannabis stocks. If I'm ever going to recommend a stock on my channel, it's got to be producing a profit, free cash flow positive, ideally maybe returning profits to their shareholders through stock repurchasing and dividends. And I don't know any cannabis stocks that that do that. Cannabis stocks have a lot of debts. They dilute their shareholders, and to me, it's just a very competitive business. Cannabis. I'm 100% pro legalization, but it's not that hard to grow yourself. And a lot of people who are lifetime consumers, I think many of them would just prefer to, have their own stash growing at home. So, how do you make a profit from that? I don't know. Jan Z, hello from Germany. We got Berlin, hello from Los Angeles. Buddy, hi from North Korea. I'm a little skeptical, buddy, that you're actually tuning in from North Korea. Ian, did you choose the Air Force because it was the best branch? My father's actually an Air Force veteran, but in general, I feel like the Air Force has the best reputation for um, culture. When you're in the Air Force, it doesn't feel like the military. It feels very corporate, actually. It feels like a business. So when you go to the office and you're interacting with your coworkers, I've been told, obviously I've never served in the Army or Marines, but I'm told it feels very different from the other branches. Let's see here. Oh, sorry guys, it's going fast here. Virtuosity. Hi, Jake. Are individual stocks worth buying to try and beat the market or just sticking to the S&P 500? People trade emotionally. So if you want to dollar cost average buy and hold index funds, probably have that be a majority of your wealth. I would estimate that 75 to 80% of my net worth is just buy and hold S&P 500 index funds. It's that other 20% that I actually show on my channel, and I try to actively trade in order to outperform the index funds. But if I completely screw it up and lose all that money, I'll still be fine long term because primarily I'm still just a buy and hold long term index fund investor. Rain Man, what stocks are you looking at shorting and over how much time? It's hard. It's really hard in this market to try and either go long or short on any one individual stocks because as soon as they give their quarterly earnings, what we've seen with Amazon, Meta, Facebook, Target, it just like pre-market, it just goes up 20 or 30% or down 20 or 30%. Like Wall Street is insane about their pre-market, post-market trading, and I primarily like trading options, and you can't trade options pre-market or post-market when Wall Street is buying in or selling out on earnings. So for that, if I am going to short the market, I'm just going to short the Nasdaq because it's so heavy on consumer discretionary and tech stocks. So I made a video last week. I'm slowly building a very large short position on QQQ. I'll make another video this week talking about my next buys. Hui, Jake, how good is your Korean? Can you watch a Korean drama or movie without subtitles? I lived in South Korea for 6 years. I took night classes for two years. By the time I left South Korea, ask me any question, I'll give you an answer. If I were to watch a Korean drama or movie, I would understand enough to know contextually everything that's going on. But I left South Korea 6 years ago while serving in the Air Force. I didn't really keep up my language skills. I watched Squid Games on Netflix, and I understood most of what they were saying to each other. So I still got something. I still have some residual level. Damien, hello from New York. Okay, we jumped here. Tommy, hello from the UK. We got Mud. Hello, Jake. Just wanted to say I really appreciate your work and the relaxed demeanor you approach very serious subjects with. Great vulgarization of complex issues. Thanks, Mud. I appreciate that. I personally just love learning about things, and if I can repackage somewhat complex information and explain it in a simpler form that more people can then share the knowledge with, that just personally makes me very happy. Ignacio, what do you think of using VR on a daily basis for upcoming years? I can't. I have an Oculus Quest 2, now called a Meta Quest 2, and I can use it for maybe 1 hour max before I just get tired or dizzy or my head just starts to hurt. I get imprints around my nose and eyes. So is Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse really going to happen? I personally am skeptical. I think he needs to stop pumping up the expectations that within 5 years, a billion people are going to be using VR headsets to go to work. Basically, that just isn't happening. John says my nephew graduated from high school and has applied to the Air Force. He wants to specialize in cybersecurity. If he gets into cybersecurity, those are pretty good jobs. John, my recommendation is that when he goes to MEPS, if they tell him you got to wait 1 month or 2 months to get the job he wants, just wait the 1, 2, or 3 months to get the career, to get the job he actually wants. Don't do an open enlistment and then have them stick you in security forces or something like that. Margaret, what are your thoughts on precious metals? I do not recommend investing long term in commodities such as gold or silver. I think, in the short term, you can swing trade anything. Is holding gold better than holding cash? Yes, of course, but the stock market and index funds will provide you a much better return over the long run as opposed to investing in gold. Headlock Gaming, I'm nervous to do shorting. If I screw it up, I can lose more than investing. Well, if it's an options contract and you're shorting, buying puts, you can lose as much as you can lose buying call contracts. If the contract expires worthless, it's worthless no matter what the direction. But if you want to actually short QQQ, just short sell it, then if the market goes down 10%, you made 10%. But if the market goes up 10%, you lost 2%. It's basically just the mirror image of going long. It's the same percentages. Pablo, why not just buy S triple Q? You can do that. Yeah. If you want to just buy S triple Q instead of actually short selling real shares of QQQ, there's lots of different ways to do different things with different financial instruments. Wall Street is very inventive. Funding secured. What's your take on Hood buyouts worth the gamble? Did somebody make an offer to buy out Robinhood? I wasn't tracking this, guys. I've been kind of distracted the last couple days. Robinhood buyout? What is going on with Robinhood? FTX is looking to buy Robinhood. Really? That's hilarious. I'll be honest, as soon as Robinhood went public, I was very skeptical of their long term success. I thought potentially one of the legacy brokers, such as Morgan Stanley or Charles Schwab or Goldman Sachs, was going to buy out Robinhood just for their user base and then integrate them into their existing client base. But if another small brokerage like FTX wants to absorb Robinhood, I think that's good for basically, competition amongst the brokerages. But I never thought that Robinhood was going to be a long-term success story. The Moped Universe, Jake, what's up, dog? Not much. How are you? Shipping Studios, my dad was deployed to South Korea. He was Air Force. He was a part of AGE. They translated Squid Games in a funny, bad way. Well, I think it's cultural as well. I think when they translate Korean shows into English, you're not gonna if you're a girl, you're not gonna call the man you're having intimacy in the bathroom with older brother. In U.S. culture, that's a little weird. So I understand. I understand there are certain references. Korean women will call their boyfriends older brother, but in U.S. culture, that's just weird. So they're not going to translate that verbatim. Let's see here. Okay, we're jumping. 1975 lap. I think Putin's plan is to wear down the average citizen in the U.S. with high gas prices and high inflation. Then a populist authoritarian leader is elected sympathetic to Russia. I think I want to make a video about this topic about is America or are Americans currently distracted? And I would say yes. I would say news coverage of the war in Ukraine amongst the major networks, the major websites has gone down, but I don't think there's been any change in the administration's policies or the Department of Defense or the CIA. All those people have their marching orders, and they're not distracted. Just because the media and the American people are distracted doesn't mean that anything is changing course. And I'm positive at the moment that even if the House and Senate were to change hands in November, I still don't think support for weakening Russia is going to be diminished in Congress. These spending bills have passed overwhelmingly, both Republican and Democratic. Let's see here. Brian Baker, did you do anything with your TSP? Nope. I'm still 100% in the C funds in my TSP. This is the government 401k. I'm buy and hold, never going to do anything with that. TNN, Squid Games, or Parasites. I saw Parasite. It was a good movie. It won Best Picture. I'll go ahead and make the argument that it was long overdue that a international film won Best Picture at the Oscars. But personally, guilty pleasure. I just really enjoyed Squid Games. It was a lot of fun. I binged it in 2 days. I watched all 7, 8 episodes in 2 days. I just couldn't stop watching it. Beach Boy, hey Jake, how do you feel about writing covered calls on stock that we own? By the way, awesome content. I think that if you're long term holding individual stock positions and you have a nice 100 shares of something, covered calls is great as long as you're comfortable selling the stock or losing the stock. Just make sure you don't sell a covered call right after there's been, like a 4 or 5% drop in the market over the last 2 days. You can kind of time when you sell those calls just a little bit to improve your performance. Virtuosity, thoughts on trading inverse ETFs in the bear market? If that's what you want to do, if you want to trade an inverse ETF, then you can do that, or you can just go on your broker and short sell. It's the same effect, but that's what those ETFs do. They just short whenever you give them money. Let's see. AliCoding.com. I am Indonesian, and my president is going to meet Zelensky and Putin after G7. What's your comments? Well, if he's going to meet, meet Zelensky and Putin. So is he trying to be some kind of arbiter or neutral? I don't see what the benefit of going to meet Putin is. Putin is not going to change his mind. It's victory or death, literally, for Vladimir Putin. He has to get control of this region of Ukraine to declare victory, or he will be removed from power by somebody, either the military or other members of the Kremlin or his own people. But he's not going to stop, so there's no point in talking to him. It's not going to do anything. Sid's vlog. Hi, Jake. I just watched where you opened the position on QQQ. I thought you pulled the trigger earlier. I wanted to, but I kept waiting for, I was just being greedy and waiting for the market to get closer to the top of the channel, top of the range. But it just kept dropping. I'm comfortable with my short position. I'm feeling pretty confident that by September, the market will be lower than it is today. And the only way I lose money is if I perfectly mistime the bottom and we have a V-shaped recovery. We get into next month and inflation is low. The Fed says everything's great. We don't need to raise interest rates. Corporate earnings are fantastic and they give amazing guidance, and the war magically ends. That's the only way that this is the bottom of the market today, right now. And I just don't think that's happening. So I'm feeling pretty confident about my short position. Freedom for Men, love your channel, Jake. Thank you so much. Hey, we got David. Cool shirt, Jake. Yeah, this is relatively new. I think I got it at H&M maybe like a month or so ago. So for those of you watching my channel the last couple of years, you might leave the comment occasionally that, hey, Jake, I think you can afford some new shirts every once in a while. You've been wearing the same 6 or 7 collared shirts in all of your videos. basically going back to 2019. So I do need to update my wardrobe now that I'm living in Las Vegas. So I didn't buy many new clothes when I was living in North Dakota, guys. Just being honest with you, didn't get out much in Minot, North Dakota. But now that it's 110 degrees here in Vegas, I should maybe get some new clothes. Tractor Poodle, hello from Bangkok. Wow, we got people all over the world. Having spent a fair amount of time in Korea, I concluded that Korean is an extremely difficult language. Kudos for learning it. Yeah, I mean, I should make a video just about how complicated the Korean language is. They only have 7 verb tenses compared to English's 12. They have 5 levels of formality when speaking to people. They have no inflexive pronouns. Often they just omit the subject of a sentence when talking to each other. They have no plural. They only have singular conjugations for all of their nouns. And verbs and adjectives are conjugated the same. That was just a short list of all the things about the Korean language that are different than English. Where, I mean, as a foreigner learning it, you're just kind of like, it gives you empathy for Koreans who have to learn English because it's equally as complicated going the other direction. These two languages are just very far apart. Robert, hey Jake, got any advice for an E4? I just got orders to Spain. Awesome. I'm jealous you're going to Spain, Roberto. For an E4 is just try and keep your costs low. I don't know how old you are, Roberto, but you're going to feel pressured to spend money maybe to impress other people, but what they think of you is not going to be changed by how much money you spend on this or that. So if you're young, definitely try and save some money and seek out experience over material goods. Jeff, another person from Thailand, good morning. TNN, Putin brought back the Soviet national anthem in his first term, and a second Cold War was going to happen. Uh, yeah, I mean, Putin called the collapse of the Soviet Union the greatest strategic blunder of the 20th century, and said that it was a mistake to let the 14 newly created independent republics leave Moscow's control. And if you're an ethnic Russian living in Moscow, yeah, I can see your perspective why you have less power, prestige, and wealth giving up all of this territory, people, and resources. McCarthy, stumbled across your channel and I like it a lot. You seem like a humble guy and you're very informative. Thanks for uploading. Thanks for the support, McCarthy. I greatly appreciate it. We've got about 370 people watching and 151 thumbs up. If you guys can give this video a thumbs up, it helps other people out there find the live stream. We got a channel member, Hiroshima loves you. Viva Las Vegas. Hope you're doing well. Hiroshima loves you. Good to see you again. Cute Pig. As a Wisconsin native, do you miss Culver's in Nevada? I do. I just had Culver's 3 days ago, visiting my sister in Chicago. Also, have you been to the Fuku Burger? The one in Chinatown was the best. I'm not familiar with that. Is that Chinatown in Vegas? Or I'm not sure where that is, Cute Pig. Whew. One Life, Jake, I was so happy to watch your video bringing awareness to the crypto fraud. Good on you. All right, so I was really relieved to finally make that video about crypto because I went 18 months, guys, without mentioning crypto once on my channel. Sometimes in live streams, people would ask me, what are my thoughts, or in the comments section. And my standard response is, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I see what crypto does during the next recession. Once the Fed starts tightening, what is crypto going to do? And sure enough, my suspicion was right that as soon as interest rates were going to start being raised, the money supply was going to contract. This was basically going to flood out all the investors who are just buying crypto because they want to make money. I think crypto is fantastic in that it's a decentralized peer-to-peer payment service for anybody that wants to do that, who wants to avoid government currency and central bank regulation. So crypto is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. But is crypto a hedge against inflation? No, because inflation is really high and crypto is falling. Is crypto a hedge against recession? No, because we're heading into a recession and crypto is going down. Is it a store of value? If you compare it to other argued stores of value like gold, gold's maintaining its price. So it's not a store of value. It's just a speculative investment, basically. And in the short terms, you can trade anything. Mr. Lee's greeting from the Netherlands. I don't know if I've told people this on my channel publicly, but my father is an immigrant from the Netherlands. He's from Utrecht. So I am Dutch American, if that means anything to anybody. Uh, Bjorn DeFly, love your content. Thank you so much. Tim, that was wildly insightful experience over material goods. Will, greetings from the Czech Republic. Wow, we got almost every country in Europe here. Ship the points, 700 every month into emergency funds or 500 every month in Roth. Well, you need some kind of emergency fund. If your emergency fund is zero, then put a couple $1,000s in there. But otherwise, yeah, I would be putting money into your Roth and your brokerage account. Hello from Warsaw, Poland. In the upcoming EU budget, prospective Poles become net payers, not net beneficiaries of the EU. Ooh. Yeah, Poland. As you become wealthier and more prosperous, you're going to have to carry a greater and greater load of the EU financial burden. So, but it's a sign of honor, sign of privilege. As an American, I'm proud to pay my taxes, even though, well, you have to view it that as the more prosperous you are, the more you benefit from the system, the more you owe back. Berlin, you've said that retail investors don't really affect stocks. It's really institutions that make the difference. But then why, when there's some bad news in the media, stock prices react every time? Well, that's because Wall Street watches the media and they just sell out. Often they do it early morning or after bell close. So when you look at the size of the S&P 500, the current value is, what's the current value of the S&P? So a lot of people don't know this, but the S&P is a value. The current S&P index value is 3,900. That stands for $39 trillion. So for retail investors like you or me trying to get out tens of thousands of dollars, potentially even millions of dollars, that's not going to move the needle. The S&P 500 is at $39 trillion valuation is not going to move because retail investors want it to. It moves because pension funds, mutual funds, hedge funds, people playing with billions and even trillions of dollars. Think Vanguard, BlackRock, Fidelity. That's what actually will cause the market to go up 1 or 2%. Woo, we just got some super chats. Fantastic. $1 super chat from Neil. Thank you so much, Neil. Do you have a question? Yeah, you do. Please check out the AFIA Foundation, a charity in New York that collects medical supplies that otherwise would be thrown out due to expiration and sends them to Ukraine. That sounds like a fantastic charity. I wonder what kind of medical supplies would be like prescriptions. But yeah, that sounds like a fantastic foundation. So let's shout them out now to everybody in the live stream. The AFIA Foundation out of New York. They're currently, I don't know who they are, but they sound like they're doing good work for Ukrainian refugees. Okay, we got another $20 super chat from Khalid. Keep up the good content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support, Khalid. I greatly appreciate it. We have a $5. Did you have a question, Khalid? I do not see one. Okay. Luis, $5 super chat. Hey, Jake, it is dumb to hold VOO while holding Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft as individual holdings, since that's VOO's top holdings. the question, is it dumb? And no, it's not. If you want to hold VOO, uh, what percentage of VOO is Microsoft? It's probably probably like 80%. So if you want to hold more shares of Microsoft, you're just increasing your exposure. So if VOO is half your account and Microsoft is 8% of VOO, and then you bought another 50%, of your account of Microsoft, you're basic. Okay, there's some math here with percentages, but let's say you did another 10% of your brokerage account with Microsoft, you're basically doubling your exposure to 18%, which nothing wrong with that. I think when this recession hits and then we get into recovery mode, the mega caps are going to recover the fastest. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. I really love Adobe, Apple, Google. These companies aren't going anywhere. They're monopolies. They're titans. They can't be stopped. They're the main driving force in the modern American economy. I don't know if anyone saw this coming 10 or 20 years ago. So if you look at the 10 largest corporations in America from 2010 and from 2020, it keeps changing. People thought in the year 2000, ExxonMobil was the largest corporation in the world, and everyone said, how could it be that ExxonMobil by 2020 won't be the largest corporation in the world anymore? Yet it happened. So maybe I am just being nearsighted and naive to think that by 2030 or 2040, uh, some other company will displace Apple and Google and Microsoft and be even larger than them. I don't see it coming at the moment. I feel like these tech companies are going to continue dominating, but anything's possible. You definitely have to be open minded about emerging technologies and hot companies. We'll see. All right, where are we at here? TNN. Half of Poland was invaded by Russia while Hitler invaded the other half. All right, we're getting into history here. People are having conversations. Reza, do you know if bracket orders, specifically trailing stop loss, works in demo mode of Street Smart Edge? Uh, I've only tried Street Smart Edge a couple times. I just personally use the web browser rather than trading software. But what you're what you're describing, I would imagine it'd be possible, but in demo mode, I'm not sure. I don't think I can answer that question. We got she. Hello from China. Hello. Hey, the premier of China has entered the chat. Fantastic. All right, where are we at here? JC, do you think that PayPal will recover? Not in the near term. I don't know extensively what else PayPal is working on as far as that could improve their prospects in the short term. I don't think I've done a deep dive about PayPal's. I mean, there's so much competition in the digital finance sector. Everybody's getting into it with Apple Pay and Samsung Pay and even crypto being more normalized with normal, ordinary payment transactions. PayPal was the thing 15 years ago. Is it going to be the future? It's going to have to keep innovating. It's going to have to come up with what's next in order to really get their stock price moving again. So it's possible. I just personally don't know anything, and for the time being, I'm not interested in PayPal. Let's see here. We got a $5 super chat from Bandrick. Question: where did you get your bonsai tree that's on your shelf? Also, thanks for keeping us all optimistic with the support for Ukraine. So the bonsai tree, unfortunately, is plastic. I still love it though. It's fantastic. Makes me really happy. And I got it from IKEA. This plant over here is also fake. Also got it from IKEA. You can't get fake plants from IKEA in Russia anymore. So let's call that a victory, guys. No fake bonsai plants for ordinary Russians anymore. Hey, we got a $1 super chat from AZZ, Alpha Zulu Zulu. Do we have potentially a question? No question. Good day. Love the channel. Thank you so much for the support, I greatly appreciate it. I can't quite make out your user image. Is that Ralph from The Simpsons? Let's see here. Sean, Preston, Jake, I'm an OTCS guy. Nickel, a good buy at the moment. I generally don't mess around with commodities. They seem very volatile, independent of the markets. So I can't speak to the price of nickel at the moment. Victoria, is there a retirement strategy like the wheel that you talked about with your retire on 437,000? Where do you get assigned less often? Do you suggest rolling the options to avoid being signed? I did make a video about rolling options, and in general, I never recommend it. I know other YouTubers that talk about trading options will say they roll their options, but I would rather just take the hit and move on, sell to close, and move on to the next trade. Usually, tying up your capital in a losing trade a couple more months to squeeze out a few more dollars in hopes that the trade will go your way, in my opinion, it's not worth it. So with that wheel strategy video I made, I said, you're going to be assigned. It's okay. Some months you might even be assigned at a loss, but you just have to formulate a game plan, stick to it. If you decided to start doing that in the last 6 months, as the market has only gone down, I feel like since the COVID crash, these have been abnormal times. So you might want to use your own discretion and potentially hold off on selling cash secured puts until the market has finished falling, I guess, basically. Uh, there's a lot you can do with options, but these days are a little strange. TNN Karate Kid. I'm on season 4 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. I've fallen behind, but I'm trying to get caught up. But yep, bonsai. Vladimir Putin. Wow, Vladimir Putin is in the live stream, guys. We get the plants, Jake. Damn it. Damn it. They get the plants. They're getting it. They're getting them from Belarus or Kazakhstan or Georgia or something. Bandrick. Woo. Thanks. Now I know where to get the happy bonsai tree from. It's probably on IKEA's website too. Do you think that the sanctions against Russia are too weak? Uh there's more they could be doing, but I think Europe and the United States is playing this game. For example, they banned Russian oil, but they're not banning Russian gas. The reason why is because oil at room temperature can be put on a tanker and then sail to India or China and be used. But natural gas has to be super cooled to put on a tanker. Russia doesn't have the infrastructure. So if Europe did the opposite, kept buying Russian oil and didn't buy Russian gas, then the gas couldn't be used. The global energy supply would be more greatly disrupted. So the EU and the United States, they're playing this game with money where they're trying to inconvenience and hurt Russia just a little bit, but still keep getting energy out to somebody who wants to buy it. China, India, Africa, whoever. So if we wanted to go scorched earth on Russia, that hasn't happened yet, and potentially it could be coming. There's a video I probably need to make about the fact that European and American companies insure all these tankers, and in a couple months, these tankers are not going to be insured anymore. And the United States Navy is still the most powerful navy in the world. And if we wanted to start seizing Russian tankers, I mean, that's almost a declaration of war, but there's a lot more that we could be doing, and we might be doing over the next 6 months. We're not ruling this out. Whoo, Neil, top 5 favorite books on the shelf back there. I really enjoy. It's a book on evolutionary biology. It's called The Red Queen by Matt Ridley. Highly recommend that. The Accidental Superpower Power by Peter Zion. I just read that like 2 months ago. And Peter Zion, he's kind of gone viral on YouTube with the whole war in Ukraine thing. And he's got a new book out. The book predicted a lot, and he wrote it, I think, in 2014. So pretty incredible. He's just a geopolitical analyst who likes to think about and talk about potentially what could the near future look like for the world. Other books I like. Why Nations Fail. This is a political science book by David Asimoglu and James Robinson. This book, Why Nations Fail, basically explains the entire world. Why there are wealthy nations, why there are poor nations. The contrasting theory that more people are aware of is Gun, Germs, and Steel by Diamond. What's his first name? You guys are getting me excited about books. I love my books, guys. But yeah, in the description of my videos, I toss in some book recommendations sometimes. But Why Nations Fail, Accidental Superpower. I mean, there's also books on finance that I've read that I recommend. Rich Dad Poor Dad is the number one book on personal finance and investing that I recommend. Everyone needs to read that book. All right, we got another super chat here from John Mayer for $10. Thank you so much, John. Hey, Jake, greatly enjoy your content. If you taught a class, I'd sign up. Fantastic. Do you think Russian propaganda changes tone and levels of absurdity based on their battlefield fortunes? I want to make this video this week talking about the tune that Russian bots, Russian trolls, Russian orcs are saying that the West needs to give up on their support for Ukraine to save Ukrainians. Ukrainian soldiers are dying needlessly against an unstoppable Russian force that is going to take everything they want to take. So we should save Ukrainian life, and Ukraine should just surrender and give Russia the land bridge, give them Kherson, give them the Donbass region. And I think it's all a ploy. I think Russia's running out of gas. I think they know that if this war is not over by wintertime, economically and militarily, they're going to be in serious trouble. This war cannot go on for multiple years. Russia cannot afford this. Their economy cannot afford this. I don't even think their people would support it if it did drag on past the end of the year. So yeah, I think the propaganda is being put out and being echoed and being reinforced. Ukraine, surrender this summer. Save yourselves. Surrender this summer. They're not going to surrender, and the West is not going to give up their support. So the propaganda is ridiculous. All right, we've got another super chat from Sean Preston. Thank you so much for the long time support, Sean. Does Sean have a question? Will continue to watch and hit like on entry, and why honest people are nice to see. Thank you so much, Sean. I try to keep it humble, try to keep it honest, try to be great, practice gratitude, but also acknowledge that I might be an idiot. Like, I might be wrong on literally everything. I do like to have those thought experiments to question myself. I inherently gravitate towards science and the scientific method of question everything. And every once in a while, just reevaluate your assumptions. And if there's a better path, a better method, a better idea, sometimes you just got to admit you were wrong, or admit you're an idiot and keep moving. All right, we've got another super chat from Lewis, $5. Thank you so much. 50% of my portfolio is VOO and SHD. I think that's the 1000, the Schwab 1000. What is, oh no, dividend equity ETF. Okay. Rest is mega cap. Dollar cost is probably the best to do. If you still are employed and earning a good income where you can continue dollar cost averaging into the market, I'll never tell you that's a bad idea. However, one could say we're locked in a downtrend. I show this charts every week on my channel. I think the market's going lower by so many classic methods, and I'll talk about this in my finance video potentially Friday or Saturday. But by traditional valuations, traditional metrics, the market is still overvalued. Even with a 20% drop, 20% decline, we're still at historic highs as far as stock market value to GDP, price to sales historical, price to earnings historical. So if you want to just hold on to a little bit of your cash and then dump it in September or October, potentially you might get a better price for some of these ETFs and some of these stocks. All right. Uh, let's see here. Cute Pig, would your retirement wheel strategy work for stocks? I would not. I personally only like trading options if it's an ETF on QQQ and SPY, just because I know I'm getting the perfect price, lots of liquidity, plenty of people trading it. So I've never even heard of stocks. I have no clue what the bid ask spread on that ETF is. Susie Q, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Susie. What about Belarus joining in to help Russia? It's a fake out. I think Belarus doesn't actually want to participate in the war, but they still have to do something to make Vladimir Putin happy. So I think that they've been amassing their military on the border just to divert and distract the Ukrainians. But I think if Lukashenko actually ordered the Belarus military into Ukraine, a lot of these military members or even military commanders would refuse or just turn on him. And Lukashenko doesn't want to pull a Gaddafi. He doesn't want to be murdered in the streets by his own people. So Lukashenko is trying to distract and discomfort the Ukrainians without actually having to commit military forces. But if you think Russia's military is uncoordinated, poorly equipped, poorly trained, I can't imagine Belarus is much better. So there's probably a lot of corruption and dysfunction in the Belarus military. So I don't think Belarus is ever going to cross that line. Whew. All right. Uh, Kevin Liu, can you estimate where the S&P 500 will be at the end of the year based on your 200-week moving average you show on your videos? It could fall below it. I think we're going to have a panic selling point at some points. We're going to get like what's it called, the firebreaker or the breaker is going to trigger when the whole market basically falls more than 6 or 7% in a day. When that happens, people's stop loss limits are all triggering at the same time, causing a cascading failure in the market. So basically, the stock exchange closes for like 15 or 20 minutes so that everybody can reset their stop losses to stop the triggering effect. I think that's going to happen at some point this year. There will probably be a recovery, but the S&P could see a low. It could go a lot lower. End of the year, though, it'll probably start to recover and normalize at a consistent level. We need to stop creating lower lows. When I show you the chart, as soon as we stop creating new lower lows, that'll be the bottom. That's when I'm going all in, going long, buying call contracts for 2025. All right, we've got a $10 super chat from Telekinetic. I know how to say that. When will we have a UAP tech investment options, e.g., Tesla anti-gravity? Do you think the military-industrial complex has a change management plan for this century? So when those stories last year, 2 years ago about UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenons, went public with the military and public with Congress, I watched all the conspiracy videos. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and it's really interesting that potentially there are heavier elements out there in the galaxy, out there in the universe, that we just don't have in our solar system. So I forget which number elements Bob Lazar was talking about, that some alien civilization had denser, heavier elements with unique properties that allowed us to create anti gravity drives capable of interstellar travel. But the sad story is that we don't possess these heavier elements in our solar system. So this level of technology just isn't available to us until we can get to the closest star system and then hope that they have an abundance of these heavier forming elements on the periodic table of elements. So do I see a Tesla anti-gravity drive coming? I don't see how that's possible given the periodic table of elements that we currently have. There has to be something else out there in the universe to allow for faster than light travel, artificial wormhole technology, all of this really cool sci-fi stuff. So is Tesla going to have a breakthrough in our lifetime? I don't know. I think the technological wonders that are coming are on the micro scale, probably more than the macro scale. But I don't think anti-gravity drives are coming anytime soon from Tesla. AJ just became an all-star supporter. Thank you so much, AJ, for becoming a channel member. That's fantastic. We've got a $5 super chat from Smart Lurker. Hey, Jake, greetings from California. Russia will be screwed by summer's end because HIMARS are more and more weapons are coming. Prayers for the Kremenchuk victims. Yeah, I think more of these advanced weapon systems are going to be making their way into Ukraine. I know it's incredibly frustrating day to day that they're not going faster, but when you think about procurement, logistics, training, maintenance, parts, transportation, the West could be doing more, but Ukraine just has to hold on. If Ukraine can hold on a couple more months, Russia will strength will be diminished, and their capabilities will increase. It's just going to take time. It's just going to take a couple more months or a year. Circuit breaker, gun blazer. Yep, that's the word. It's a circuit breaker. All right, we got a super chat from Meow Meow. Thank you so much. I saw a movie where aliens invaded and they were hot nymphomaniac babes. Any chance of that happening? There's a God in this universe and he likes us. That'll be the outcome coming for all of us. But it is fun to think that, potentially like humans are being abducted, but we're just being taken back to alien worlds where we're basically put in a zoo and then given every creature comfort that we could imagine. Like if we are exotic, exhibitions on foreign planets, they would want us to be comfortable. They would want us to be happy. So I don't know. I think about that possibility of, being on display in a foreign zoo, alien zoo and just being treated really well. How would I react to that? Probably wouldn't like having my freedom taken away, but it's a fun thought experiment. I like your question, Meow Meow. That's a good thought. Robin, how would Russia's economy do if it was a normal democracy? If they weren't so corrupt and they had real democracy, real protections and guarantees on property rights, human rights, free speech, free press, free and fair elections, yeah, Russia wouldn't be so insanely corrupt. And corruption is very corrosive to the economy. What is the population of Russia? It's about 140 million. But what is the population of a country in Europe with a comparable size? Let's look at maybe the population of France. I don't know how many people live in France. The population of France is 67 million. Russia is a population greater than twice that. Why isn't that Russia doesn't have an economy twice the size of France? And the answer is corruption. With an abundance of resource, with an abundance of land, there's a lot of positive that Russia could be doing for the international community and for their own people. But Russia is in effect run by the mafia. The mafia controls the Kremlin, and I think Russia has like the fifth most number of billionaires in the world. but per capita income, they're like 80th in the world. So there's just a very high level of income inequality and wealth inequality, and corruption is your explanation. Wow, we got another $3 super chat from Damien. Will silver and gold go up because of Russia? Potentially, yeah. I mean, if less gold being and silver being mined is coming onto the market, or Russian gold and silver reserves can't be sold on the open market, that's the next thing the G7 is talking about doing as far as sanctions. Then yeah, there could be a spike, but at the same time, we're kind of heading into a global recession, so maybe demand for gold and silver as an asset will go down. So there's supply and demand forces working in both directions there. Hey, we got a super chat from Vince Adams. Thank you so much, Vince. Does Vince have a question? I do not see anything from Vince Adams. Thank you so much for the support, Vince. All right. Who do we got here? Let's see. Any question? Victoria, do you think AMC will squeeze? No, I don't know what the short position on AMC is. You know, when AMC and GameStop were squeezed in early 2021, AMC had like a 300% short position on it. You know, it was shorted more than there were shares in existence. I don't know what the current short position of AMC is, but I don't think it's that high anymore. I think with several hedge funds being absolutely destroyed, they're now paying attention to what percentage is this company currently shorted? Is it greater than 100%? Which kind of feels like that should be illegal. But I don't think hedge funds are going to get blindsided like they were in 2021. It's not impossible. It's just not as likely, given everyone on Wall Street knows this is a thing now. They have to watch out for, plan for. Wall Street bets, their message boards are being watched. They're being manipulated. So it's just going to be harder to do that again. Vince Adams, talk about your USA Air Force experience, rank, how long you were in, and your job. So I served for 6 years. I just got out in February. I was a captain '03, serving in the Air Force. I was a nuclear and missile operations officer. My day to day job is I was in charge of the security, maintenance, and operations for the Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile system. The nickname for my career field was Missileer, and I was in charge of nuclear weapons. That was my job in the Air Force, Vince. It's a little weird talking about it. No regrets about getting out. I was honored and happy to serve. I feel like the Air Force treated me very well. It just wasn't a 20-year career for me to get that military pension. Hey, we got a super chat from Isn't Hey. How much money have you made from YouTube? All time in the 3 years I've been doing it? I will look that up for you guys right now. I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's see. How much all time have I made from YouTube AdSense? I've made $179,000. My channel became monetized in November of 2019, so almost 3 years of monetization. And my first year I made like my first year monetized I made 20,000, and my second year monetized I made 80,000. And as soon as I made 80,000 basically as a side job while being a captain in the Air Force, that's when I realized if I just did this full time, I could make six figures. I could have a comfortable salary in which all my expenses and needs will be met. So that's what I'm doing. I got out of the military to do YouTube full time, and I have no complaints. I know how lucky and fortunate I am. So it's incredibly humbling. Super chat from HT. Hey, Jake, all the experts stated that the Russian economy would have collapsed by now. I know that they are propping up the ruble, but they just keep humming along. Do you think it will happen? So here's the thing about Russia, these sanctions and their economy. There are two separate economies basically in Russia. There's the one that everyday, ordinary, small, medium town Russians experience, and most Russians who are not working in the energy sector or the military, they work in service. They work in shops and stores. It's a consumer driven based economy. That is the Russian economy that is being decimated right now with rising unemployment, lowering wages, higher costs, runaway inflation. So that ordinary Russians are the ones experiencing that. The other Russian economy is the Kremlin and how much money they can bring in by controlling the energy exports of their country. So if oil is $110 a barrel, then Vladimir Putin is bringing in plenty of money to fund his governments, pay all of his police and secret police, and fund the military and the war in Ukraine. So I've stated this in my economic videos related to Ukraine that the price of oil has to come down. If the price of oil can go down to $50 or $60 a barrel, then we will bankrupt the Kremlin. And the Kremlin knows this, which is why they're in a hurry to get this war over, because as we head into a global recession from rising interest rates, the money coming into the Kremlin to pay the FSB and all the secret police to stop everyone from rioting, they're not going to get their paychecks anymore. So how much longer is it going to take? We need to kill global demand. We have to cool off the economy. We got to get inflation down in the West, and we need to get the price of oil back down to $50 or $60 a barrel. Meow meow. Your thoughts regarding Palantir and Nano Dimension? I've never understood Palantir. I know other finance YouTubers back when it was going parabolic couldn't stop talking about the company. But I just don't really cloud computing, AI. I know there's some next generation stuff. They've got government and military contracts. The revenue is increasing. They're still diluting shareholders. Lots of stock based compensation. I just don't think about Palantir. I don't care about it. I don't worry about it. It's not in the S&P 500, so I'm not holding it with my index funds. So it just doesn't really interest me. Whew. All right, where are we at, guys? We're doing good here. Thank you so much, Meow Meow, for the question and the support. Cookie, wow, that's quite a job. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Rhymes, are you buying Google before the splits? No, I know the last 2 years when companies did splits, it would lead to a boost, but Amazon recently split 20-1, didn't help Amazon's stock at all. I think Google is going to have a terrible quarter as far as expectations. Their year over year comparison to 2021 is going to look really soft. Their next quarter guidance going into Q3 is going to be weak because companies are pulling back on advertising. Companies in the S&P, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, whatever, they think a recession is coming, so they're cutting their advertising budgets. Google makes its money from Google AdSense. So revenue for YouTube is going to fall. Sorry to say, that's my job, but I don't think Google is going anywhere in the positive direction anytime soon. Long term, though, if you want to invest for 10 years, Google's one of the best. Where are we at, guys? Sean, by the way, thank you for your service. We would not be free without you. Thank you all for your support. Thank you, Sean. Let's see here. Cute Pig. Fuku Burger is in Chinatown in Vegas. You should try it. I will write that recommendation down. I am all for trying new burgers. So Fuku Burger in Chinatown in Las Vegas. I'm gonna be ignorant here and say I don't even know where Chinatown is in Vegas. I'm sure they have one. I'll have to look it up. I haven't visited yet. Corey, Elon Musk has said how much free education is out there. People should take advantage of it. We should all give Jake a thumbs up for his excellent info and insight he provides. Thumbs up for Jake. I've been an early adopter of free online education. I've taken several courses on Coursera back when it was 100% free. I also got involved early in Khan Academy back in like 2011, 2010. I thought Khan Academy was a brilliant idea. There was a TED talk done by Sal Khan maybe in 2011 or 12, and he basically outlined his vision for this nonprofit free education source. I was 100% saying this is the future. I absolutely love this guy and what he's doing. Additionally, there's Vlogbrothers. For anybody who knows the channel, Vlogbrothers, John and Hank Green, I've been a self identified nerd fighter for over 10 years. I've been following their channel since 2010. They're one of the original OGs of YouTube. And they started Crash Course, which is also free online learning. Fantastic source. I really like TED Ed and TED Talks. So I'm honored and humbled that I can be contributing back to YouTube. Free videos, obviously with ads, but free videos for everyone to watch, to learn from, because I've gotten so much from this platform myself. Where are we at here? The economic fundamentals are too bad for a split to generate enough hype. Exactly, my name. You got it. Vince, are you concerned about Taiwan? No. I mean, obviously, the West or the United States specifically still has to make these security guarantees saying that Taiwan is our ally and we will defend them. But I don't seriously think China is planning any kind of uh, amphibious invasion of Taipei anytime soon. They can't even get COVID under control in their country. So China doesn't scare me. Peter Zion basically says that China is irrelevant and they're going to break up soon. Their one child policy that they started 50 years ago has been a disaster for their demographics. They have a rapidly aging population that they're going to struggle to support and also continue to grow their economy. We're already seeing it, as I think China's population last year or the year before declined for the first time. Deaths exceeded births in the country. So China has a problem, and they've got to resolve that before they can start amphibious invasions of an island that's armed to the teeth and will do a lot of damage if China's dumb enough to try it. Whew, where are we at here? Gransma, it's a shame you ignore question other than those who send money. I'm not trying to ignore people's questions, but I can only talk so much, and this chat moves a lot. If I get a super chat, guys, I have to go to that one first to make sure that I answer those questions in the given amount of time. Otherwise, I'm trying to see and read as many questions as I can get to. I'm happy to answer people's questions if there's time. Urshad, hi Jake, any update on the Robinhood challenge? Yeah, that Robinhood challenge just didn't happen this year as the market started melting away and my Schwab accounts started going down. I've been doing YOLO stuff in my Robinhood accounts that isn't going to impress anybody. But maybe if we can get through this downturn, I can pivot and start talking about value investing, which is something I've always wanted to do, to actually be a real value investor rather than what I currently am, which is an index fund investor primarily. But then I also swing trade options. But I really would like to take some of my capital that I'm earning from YouTube and make real long term investments that I have no intention on selling potentially ever. Whew, where are we at here? Super chat from Lemon. Thanks for addressing previous questions and for the excellent content. Thank you so much for the support, Lemon. Whew. Cookie Z, you're doing great. Thank you so much, Cookie. Sava P, how would Poland react if Belarus invaded Ukraine? That's the $1 million question. Is Poland looks like it wants to go in and help Ukraine, but Poland is a member of NATO, and if Russia were to attack Poland, that would trigger Article 5 of the NATO Charter. But if Poland started the fights, it's it's just this war has to end before it escalates. But I don't know. Channel member, there's no bathroom. Fantastic name. Thoughts on selling monthly covered calls against long calls to hedge the current downturn? Thoughts on yeah, if you're holding 100 shares of an individual stock or State Street's SPY and you want to sell monthly covered calls to earn premium as the stock is falling, yeah, that's fantastic. I highly recommend that. $5 super chat from Dave. Do active military spouses also get the zero annual fees for Amex? Would you recommend signing the wife up? I don't have a wife. I've never personally confirmed this, but I have been told by active duty military members that their spouse has signed up for a card, mentions they're married to somebody in the military, then they also get SCRA MLA protections. How I think this is legally, how Amex is interpreting it is if you file your taxes jointly as a married couple, then you have one set of finances. So I don't know if Chase or US Bank or Citi does that, but I've heard that Amex does that. And if you wanna go for it, if you want to try and get that sign up bonus for a card or whatever, and get the annual fee waived, if Amex is willing to do it, then it's free value, free money. All right, let's see here. Have we gotten as many people as we could? Whew, the Highlander Prime. Jake, what will Putin do if he loses the stolen property in Ukraine via a loss? Didn't he invade to partly prevent Zelensky from revoking his lease on the southern ports? I don't know. There was a lot of complications. When you think about Crimea and the Azov coast, as it was an active war zone since 2015, the separatists had been fighting. This all has to be resolved uh, internationally. Like when this war is finally over, people are going to be meeting in Paris or Vienna, and there's going to be multilateral, global conversations about how do we undo and resolve all of this. And I don't think anyone knows. I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen to Sevastopol or that Russian base, in Crimea. If Ukraine somehow gets Crimea back, is Russia going to have to pay reparations for all the people they killed and all the buildings they destroyed in order to get the sanctions from the West lifted? This can get a lot worse for Russia, and they're just not even thinking long term at all. Susie Q, I recently retired from 35 years nursing in a neonatal ICU and was fortunate to receive a pension. Will recession affect this? Thank you. I'm a younger retiree. Hopefully not. I know with pensions from the 2008 recession, basically mortgage-backed securities that were junk were being rolled into people's pension funds, and then when they became insolvent, a lot of pensions lost a lot of money, a lot of pensions lost their value. But a normal recession, just stocks going down, that should not affect your pension fund. Your pension fund should be pretty secure if all the regulators on Wall Street are doing their jobs. So no, I wouldn't worry about that in the near term, Susie. All right, guys, we've been going for almost an hour and a half. I greatly appreciate you coming to the live stream, joining me, asking great questions. I greatly appreciate the support. I'm going to try and get a video up tomorrow morning related to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. It's been a week since my last video, but thank you all for coming by. Have a fantastic evening. Take care.